We have 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hello, everyone out there in YouTube. We are the Middle-Aged Guys, and once again, this is another video covering what we've been playing this week. All right, let me get the introductions quickly out of the way. I am the Reverend.
The Theme here.
And I'm Grandmouse1.
Our weekly video series that we've been covering pretty much so that we have a reason to go out of our way and actually enjoy our most favorite hobby in all the world. Because, as we've explained before, we're middle-aged guys, and unfortunately, when it comes to being middle-aged and having a full-time job and family responsibilities and everything else, sometimes you're not always left with all the time in the world to go ahead and enjoy your favorite hobby in all the world. But with this particular video series right here, it actually gives us an opportunity to go out of our way, even if it's just for a short time out of the week, to go ahead, pick up one of the games out of any of our shelves, pop them in, enjoy them for a little while, and then at the end of the week or towards the end of the week, go ahead and talk about what we played. Like I said before in previous videos, none of this is going to be a full-blown review, just pretty much our initial, maybe not even initial thoughts on a game, because a lot of these games are games that we've played a lot before that we just come back to playing and all of that. Our thoughts on the games, why we decided to go ahead and pick them up. And, yeah, we're going to be mindful of spoilers, all right? Although, if there's anything in here that we talk about that's like, you know, more than 2 generations back, we're going to forego any sort of spoiler warnings for obvious reasons, okay? It's literally, when you're talking about a game that's been out for over a fucking decade, all right, I don't think we need to worry about that, all right? With that said, I know we're not always able to go ahead and play the same number of games this week. How many games you got in front of you guys? All right, so Theme has 3. I've got, well, including the ones that that I continue to play from last week, I've got like 4 or 5 actually. 2 of them I could talk about in the one segment. What about you, Grey Mouse? What do you got?
6.
You got 6? All right, you start us up, sir.
Well, where do I start? I guess I'll start with the same thing, pretty much what I ended with. Game that I picked up, I think it was last Friday, Kirby Star Allies.
Mm-hmm.
I am continuing to play this. Actually, 2 weeks ago, I think it was, when I picked it up. Something like that. But anyway, I've been constantly coming back to it, and that's a good sign when you're constantly coming back to a game. And again, like we've said on our channel multiple times, Kirby has never, ever been in a bad game. And if you guys out there can come up with a bad game that Kirby's been in, list it in the comments below.
It will be debatable.
Yeah.
Of course, everything's objectable. But, yeah, Kirby Star Allies, especially with the new powers that they give Kirby. I mean, how many more powers can they give Kirby? Kirby's way, way, way overpowered in any way. But now that you can actually give love to enemies, and they become your allies, thus Star Allies, you could do some crazy, insane things. Some of these, I guess, like you form Voltron or whatever, and some of these little things that you say, like the friend train, could be misconstrued for other things, you know. But it's really interesting how they made that. But yeah, I will continue to play this. I've already beaten it, of course, and I'm going through it again. And there's a reason for that. It's fucking fun. So if you haven't picked this up, pick it up ASAP. I mean, this is a system seller. It really is, in my opinion. It's another reason to get a Switch. But, yeah. This is not a commercial for Nintendo, by the way.
No need to go ahead and go over the disclaimers for that. And what I do understand, though, from what I've heard from various YouTube channels who go out and they do, like, the MPD numbers and also the, the numbers from Japan and the sales numbers also, that's actually the best-selling Kirby game of all time. You know, as far as you know, at release, it's the best.
So it beat out Superstar, it beat out Dream, it beat out Kirby's Adventure for NES, even the 20th anniversary for the Wii.
Yeah, Well, not total, but it's best selling as far as opening week. All right, so yeah, because like when Kirby's usually do pretty good in Japan, pretty good in the U.S. and not so well in Europe, but actually did really good in all three regions this time around. Mm-hmm. So, but again, for the Switch and a lot of the Switch owners are. Just the truth of the matter is that they're starving for new games. Yeah, it's no surprise. All right. Let me go ahead and jump in on mine. Continue playing this week, both Destiny and Ys 8, Lacrimosa Dana. All right. Destiny, like I said before, this is not really by choice. This is mostly for work that I'm knee deep in Destiny 2. And like I said, first-person shooters are not my favorite genre of games in the first place. And to wrap up my thoughts on Destiny is that this game is not going to change my mind on that. Okay. Ys 8, Lacrimosa of Dana, though. You guys have been hearing about this game ever since the very first video that we've been putting together on this. Yeah, I'm going through all the New Game Plus. I'm still going through that right now. And the hour counter is at like 156 hours right now. So, yeah. So, definitely, thankfully, I finally fished all the type of fishes that you capture in the game out. So, yeah, it's if you get around to getting this, if you haven't gotten it for the PS4, I know that a lot of folks are hoping to get it for the Switch. If you don't have a copy of it yet, you get it for the Switch. I definitely go ahead and encourage it, especially as these particular games. The thing is with these games is that for the longest time, they're pretty much relegated to just either smaller releases on console or dedicated releases to portable. If people actually start going ahead and picking these up and giving the folks, whether it be Nippon Ichi or let's see here, Exceed, whoever's doing the distribution for them, outside of Japan here, a good idea that, hey, look, this is really viable, especially here. All the better reason to go ahead and go out of your way and get a copy of this. All right, and that's pretty much what I've still been playing over the last few weeks. What about you, Thane? What you got?
I have to take it back. Look, this system, that this game is on, is one of the greatest systems of all time, in my opinion, and it's one of my favorites. And I spent a lot of times overseas in Japan in it when me and Gray Mouse were in the United States Navy. So, without further ado, yeah, there's this. Now, if you notice something different, yes, this is the Japanese version of Dead or Alive 2 for the Sega Dreamcast. This version came out after the American version, which that entails basically Dead or Alive 2 Hardcore for the PlayStation 2 was modeled after this. Regardless of what anybody else says, oh, it's better than the Dreamcast version. No, it's not better than this one. This was one of the final games for the Dreamcast that was ever released, quote unquote, during the Dreamcast life. And this, oh my God, hours upon hours of it. Now, of course, they have it for the PlayStation 2, they have it for the Xbox with the Ultimate Collection, whatever. However, this one right here is, yeah, it was the way it should be played.
Definitely. Gray Mouse, what do you got next on your pile, sir?
All right, so my next, I'm going to keep with the same system. This has been out for a while, but I find myself going back to it, Super Mario Odyssey. This is another must-have if you have a Switch. It's just that plain simple. At the point where you think that Mario cannot have any more powers or cannot do anything other, they freaking blow it out of the water with this. I mean, when you could like become a Triceratops, a T-Rex, And although it's small amount of time, but it's cool that you can throw a hat on a T-Rex and freaking rummage through the level. It's very intuitive. It's each world has its own flavor, has its own unique style to it, and it's just an amazing game that I find myself going back to. Yeah, you can probably beat it in, I don't know, full, and I think 18 to 20 hours, if that. But there's so much thing. I mean, there's a lot of stars that you got to get that you could beat the game without going through each level with a fine tooth comb. But there's rewards for you to do that. So, and then also, like you said, there was an update recently, Luigi's Balloon, which is very interesting. I recommend you play that a little bit. But yeah, Mario Odyssey, it's great. I recommend it. And yeah, so I was playing that as well.
Cool. Now, this particular game, maybe going on along a theme that was started by D-Theme, was another one of the titles that's actually I have access to from the good old emulator cabinet that we have over there in the break room at the lab. All right. Yes, there are certain games that I go back to every time that I play, but every once in a while there are some that I jump to that I go ahead and I just gotta re-immerse myself into, and this is one of the ones that I've re-immersed myself into.
Rival schools, damn it.
Theme, I know you want to say it. Get it out of the way now.
Rival Schools 3. Please, Capcom. Please. That 3 just...
Oh, shit.
Well, Project Justice, if you've... I went ahead and I was playing through the story mode on this. I actually went through the free mode quite a few times over the last week. Last Thursday, I went ahead and I was playing through story mode on this, and of course I had to. Version. Yeah, I had to sit there and I had to pick, what was it, what's the high school with Shoma and the rest of the characters. I think it was yeah, I think it's Tayo High School, the sports high. Mm. Yeah, because not only is it because I love the fact that Shoma and Natsu are actually probably two of my favorite characters in the game, but Momo is available during the story mode playthrough on that, and Momo is fucking evil. Hashtag MomoIsEvil.com. All right. Yeah, so I had to sit there and take the opportunity to go out of the way and play with Momo on the story mode for Project Justice. But I was having so much fun that people who were passing through the break room were like, "What is this?" Because
what?
No, you gotta understand. You gotta understand a lot of the folks that are were playing. They were like, some of them had played Rival Schools for the PlayStation, but they didn't play Project Justice on the Dreamcast. All right. Likewise, it's very common that I'll be playing in there, and somebody half my age will come in and start watching when I'm playing. All right. Where, guess what? The stuff that I was playing when I was completely out of the house, they were still in grade school and they couldn't buy their own shit. All right. At the time. Okay. So yeah, it came to a point where I actually was started playing some of my coworkers, verses on it for a little while, and I was able to escape by the skin of my teeth for a few rounds. But yeah, Project Justice on the Dreamcast.
So since when have peaches been evil?
Momo? No,
Yeah.
Momo, the character. Momo from Project Justice, all right?
Momo should be playing in this.
If Momo was playing in that, she would be jumping over the net, grabbing people and smacking them over the head with her fucking racket. All right, Mobile is evil in that thing. All right, not only that, but the whole role that she plays in the story mode, as far as with Shoma and the rest of them, her whole role is just straight up evil drama, high school bullshit too. So, like I said, Momo is evil. All right, but
rival schools.
Yeah. Yep. And yes, I will co-sign that. Capcom, please. Number 3. All right. All right. Your next theme. What you got?
Have to go back to the 80s. Yeah, we're not too fond of this company right now, and we probably will never be again. But
yeah.
Fight. Go off your pads.
We cause that shit to happen on purpose just to see that shit.
The one that wins the fight is not the one that gets penalized. The one that loses gets taken away by the ref and gets taken out of the game for a while. So that's where your power play. That's hilarious. I mean, it's funny how Konami never released a football game as far as I know. They released basketball, they released hockey. I think they stayed away from baseball too, but yeah, that was something that was puzzling. I mean, they got basketball, they got hockey. I was like, damn, they didn't want to perfect football on this thing, but I think that would have been a mighty stretch for the NES because there was already a great football game on there. But, well, a couple of them. But Blades of Steel, lots of fun, good times, especially with the fighting, the scoring, you know, everything was pretty much cool. And it was a good transition from arcade to NES. I mean, this was fun game, but still, fuck Konami.
Yeah, that's a hard fuck Konami on that one too. All right, Gray Mouse, what do you got? What's next, sir?
All right, so I'm going to go back a little bit, not too much though. This is a game that I actually picked up here recently because of what was said last week, or when we were out, when I was out in LA, and we were talking about it. So the game that I'm playing, or I'm talking about, is Mario versus Donkey Kong.
Yep.
This is a puzzler, but it's not supposed to be a puzzler. I love this game. And the whole premise of the game is that Donkey Kong saw a commercial that pissed him off that, wait a minute, why are all these micros,
that thing was still in my
going around? He got pissed off, and he's like, look, I'm going to do something about it. I'm going to go steal it. Like, there should be Donkey Kong minis walking around. But, yeah, this is a great puzzler. It actually, some of the puzzles in the game, you actually have to think through. And it's through the mechanics. It's very interesting mechanics, because sometimes you got to use the micro Marios to get, you won't get anywhere if you don't use them properly. And then it's a great game all around. If you have a Game Boy Advance, this is definitely a game that needs to be in your library. It's just one of those games that was kind of a spinoff, I guess, of the Mario. But I hope that Nintendo will make another one for either for the Switch or or for the 3DS. I mean, come on, we need another one of these.
Yep.
See, a lot of people don't know or understand that when Donkey Kong hit the original Game Boy, that's what pretty much this is modeled after, as far as what he could do, as far as his gymnastics. And yeah, they kept Donkey Kong, but they kept it Mario-ish. Great fucking game, especially, I mean, if you need a game on the go that's going to last you a long fucking time, it's this right here, Mario versus Donkey Kong. And as you saw, it was still in my freaking GBA Advance, so SP. So, I mean, yeah, great game.
Yeah, that's actually on the list for the next set of games I'm going to try to find and complete. The GBA version of that, and then the 2 sequels off on the DS. Those are the ones that I'm going to try to get a hold of. So,
wait, you don't have them already?
No, actually, I don't. I don't.
thought you had 'em.
No, that I do not have. All right.
Get them.
But the funny thing is that speaking about puzzle games, all right, the next set of games that I've been playing, actually, while you were down here 2 weeks ago, you saw me pick these up. I was looking for them. Is Blox and Boombox Bash Party for the Wii. All right. Now these particular games are actually, if you look at the title right here, it says a Steven Spielberg game. All right. He actually is credited as one of the producers on Boombox. All right. And this is this particular game, I believe, when it came out. Let's see here. Yeah, Boombox. Let's see here. I believe it came out in 2008. A lot of people are saying that these are the games that gave the creator of Angry Birds his idea to go ahead and make Angry Birds, because these came out like almost a full year before Angry Birds hit iOS. Okay, and what this is that basically it's set up. Each course is set up where each stage is like a particular it's a physics puzzle game. All right, just like Angry Birds. Okay, everything's set up in a 3D map and everything that you can go ahead. You could rotate around and you could go ahead and change the angle or whatnot, and then you could sit there and you could target certain blocks, and then you could throw whatever your ammunition at it, and then it will sit there and it will interact with the other blocks around it. Okay. You end up knocking down all the blocks within a certain number of moves, or you end up clearing out certain blocks without touching other things or all that. There's a whole bunch of different objectives for each stage. And if it's not obvious, especially with Bash Party, is that unlike Angry Birds, there's a multiplayer mode in this. Okay? So you can have up to 4 people playing multiplayer on this. And where they will go through, and each person will take turns, smashing certain parts of the stage or whatnot. You have a certain number of moves that you have to clear out each stage, and based on like the physics and the setup of the stage, you'll be able to pick up. Oh, I can clear out majority of this in like 2 or 3 shots if I do this correctly, right? And like I said, because of when this came out, a lot of people say that this is what gave the creator of Angry Birds his idea to create Angry Birds on iOS as a physics puzzle game that's just in 2D. All right. But yeah, this right here is a great set of puzzle games. All right. And the thing is that they're fucking Wii games because of that. Dirt motherfucking cheap. All right. Between these two right here, yeah, sure, I had to go from a different store to store to go ahead and make sure that they actually had them. $12 for both of them.
Nice.
Yeah.
Beat that.
All right. Yeah. And the thing is that if you're into the physics puzzle games, great fucking set of games right there. All right. Okay, who's next? Let's see your theme. That would bring you up to the last one that you got for the night, right?
It's funny how the information about the Atari VCS came up. And I looked over and I was like, there's my girl, the Atari 2600. Hell to the yes. And I just had to once again turn it on and pop in one of my favorite games, a game that I played all night, more than once.
Mm-hmm.
Demon Attack by iMagic. You could spend hours and hours. The game is pretty simple. Alien ships appear trying to shoot you. You are a little penis-shaped ship. Shoot pellets or bullets. Destroy them all. Some of them shoot out bullets. Some of them shoot out beams. It gets to the point where you get up to the stages. You shoot one, it'll split into 2, and then you'll have to shoot them in order to get rid of them. You shoot one of them will try to commit suicide, try to land on you. Again, it's part of the shooting genre. So, especially for this game came out in '82, I think, for the Atari 2600.
Yep.
And good fucking game. Like I say, I played that game all fucking night, more than once. There's my girl, the Atari 2600. The real Atari VCS.
Yep. Gray Mouse, we're on your last legs there. What do you got next, sir?
Okay, so the next one that I got is an oldie but a goodie. I decided to fire up the old PlayStation 2 and play Dark Cloud.
No. Ooh.
Excellent game. It kind of reminds me of ActRaiser a little bit, sort of, kind of a little bit, because you build your village back up, and you got to go through dungeons per se to pick up the orbs, the town
And the souls.
and the souls. So Dark Cloud, absolute classic RPG, action RPG, and it has a little bit of SimCity / ArtRaiser / a lot of other genres mixed into this. There was a second one, Dark Cloud 2, which I have up there, which one day, once I finish this, I'll move on to the next one. But, again, Sony Entertainment, of course, if you could see it.
Yep.
Excellent game. I wouldn't say underrated because I think everybody knows about this game, especially people at our age. But if you haven't heard or played this game and you're into like the action RPG, the ActRaiser-esque, you like that, right? Type of game, definitely pick this up. And it's the PlayStation 2 games, unfortunately, they're going up in price. It seems like everybody wants to get the PlayStation 2 games, and they have like,
unlike Sega Saturn games,
pretty much. No, Sega Saturn games are ridiculous. But these games are starting to get kind of expensive. I think this was $40. I think is how much I've seen them in the last in the what do you call it, the retro shops. Which I mean I can understand, but get it while you can before it becomes $100 game. I mean there's enough copies out there, but you just never know.
Yeah, I don't think that one's going to get that expensive, but yeah, those. What's funny is that I've noticed that depending on the funny thing about the Dark Cloud games and a lot of PS2 games is that depending on who is talking about them on YouTube, is that if somebody sits there and releases out like a hidden gems or top 10 games or something like that, like when you go to the mom and pop stores and on eBay, all of a sudden those particular games their prices jump for a little while, but then they go back down for a little bit.
So, do you want me to go ahead with my last one? Since I have,
I got one more. Let me go ahead and do mine, and then I'll go ahead and if the team doesn't have one, we'll hand it right back to you, Game Mouse.
All right.
Last one that I played this particular week actually wasn't on this. I finally got a hold of my my EverDrive N8. All right. Ooh. And it came with an SD card. And the previous person who had it, they already threw like the whole library of ROMs on there, and then organized all the folders and everything. But of course, who am I to sit there and buy something for any of my game systems, off of eBay and not sit down and actually turn it on and test it, So what happened is that amongst the slew of games that I sat down and I played, the last one that I played that I settled on and I spent a lot of time with was this particular game.
Wow.
All right.
Damn.
Wow.
The Guardian Legend, which actually is pretty infamous now. When back in the day, it wasn't that well known. But because of retro gaming channels and other things like that, it's actually a pretty well known title now. But this particular game, if you haven't played it, it plays like a mix between a vertical shooter and certain stages play as you play as a vertical shooter, and other stages you play and basically almost like an overhead action RPG Zelda type game, right? Where you move from screen to screen, and then depending on where you're at, you can work from different into different areas and then jump into different dungeons. The actual dungeons turn into the vertical overhead shooters, the vertical shooters, where you sit there and you play through and then you face a boss at the end, right? This one was developed by Compile, who is actually, if you've looked at all of their games that they put out at the time, they were a lot of times, like, I believe for side-scrolling shooters, it was the folks at Treasure. All right, but before Treasure was actually Treasure, they were part of Konami. Their core people were part of Konami, who did all of those awesome fucking side-scrolling shooters. All right, and when Treasure went ahead and left them, they did a shitload of awesome 2D side-scrolling action type games. Right, Compile, they're known for their vertical shooters. All right, they did Lords of Thunder, Gate of Thunder, whole bunch of other classic fucking shooting games all over the place. What's funny is that I didn't know that until just a few days ago, because when I started seeing, I believe it was GameSack, they did a video on the MSX where a lot of Compile shooters were on the MSX. I was like, that looks really fucking familiar. And then I went ahead and I looked it up. Lo and behold, Compile is the developer of this. You know, what's funny is that I think Compile now mostly does a lot of action RPGs that are Mahou Shoujo and ecchi themed. Yeah, that's what they do mostly now. So, and they're big collaborators with Gust and Tecmo Koei. So, yeah, just to give you an idea of the type of characters that they deal with. But yeah, Guardian Legend, if you haven't played it, awesome fucking game. Yes, you can beat it in one sitting. It will take you about 8 hours. But even if you don't, it's an awesome game. Just to say. All right, we got like 3 minutes left. Greymouse, can you pull us through in 3 minutes?
Yeah, I believe so. So previously mentioned, I was in the area with these guys, and they recommended a game for me, and I went out and bought it, and I actually popped it out of the cellophane and started playing it. And that game is Exit DS. This game is amazing. I went through the first building or the first section, which I had to put it down because I'll end up playing it all night. It's kind of a physics game. It's kind of reminiscent of N+ a little bit, except a little, because like if you fall too far, you die. If you touch fire, you die. If you walk in a smoky room, you die. If you, and it's kind of like the Mario vs. Donkey Kong too, because you have allies or people that you rescue that through the building to help you solve puzzles, get keys, rescue other people, and you know basically what you are is you're escape artist, a professional escape artist, and you're going through a burning building with other obstacles, and as you go through it, it gets harder and harder and more robust in the puzzles. Highly recommended. This is on the DS. This is like a generation and a half ago.
Yeah. Or
2 generations ago. So definitely pick this up. It's well worth it. And you could probably find this pretty cheaply right now. And you can probably find it brand new like I did. I mean, this game is pretty old, and there was a recommendation from the middle-aged guys, and I took it. It's from Taito too, also is the developer of the game. Highly recommend it. It's good stuff. Absolutely.
Yep. And if you can't find the DS version, which I got to say, honestly, I think is a preferred version for the fact that you can use the bottom touchsure. So you go ahead and
point and click. Yeah. You need the stylus,
especially to give orders to the other people that you're rescuing. That's the best thing. You'd also find it on the PSP. Yeah. And I think they also ported versions over to the PSN and Xbox Live.
I think it's
All right?
on mobile too, isn't it?
I think there's a version on mobile also.
Wouldn't surprise me.
Yep.
Absolutely, man. Good point and click game.
All right. With all of that, that's pretty much what we've been playing this week. We would like to know what you've been playing this week, folks. You can go ahead and tell us by leaving us a comment below. If you've liked this video, we appreciate the like. If you didn't like it, you can mark on like. I'm not going to blame you. And if you're really interested in what we're doing and you want to follow along with us, go ahead and turn on those subscriptions, turn on those notifications, and you'll know whenever we put out a new video or the next time we talk about the videos that we play over the week, because we're going to be doing this again. All right. Yep. With all of that, that's what we've been playing this week. I am the Reverend.
The Theme here.
And I'm Grey Mouse 1.
Once again, for the benefits of common sense, logic, and gaming, credits.